IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast, and I'm always delighted to be joined by my buddy Kevin Ajago. Kevin, you're just chilling today. It looks like you're in bed just before. It looks like you might be going to the gym this afternoon, but you're just chilling just now.
Yeah, just chilling. I've got 10 or 12 rounds sparring later, so I won't be doing a double session today. Just chilling out before sparring, relaxing.
I mean, we spoke a little bit before I pushed record there, and I said that on your Instagram, the latest Instagram video you put out there, that right hand left hook when you're hitting that punch cushion, man, scary power it looks like you possess.
Yeah, listen, I feel like I'm a strong middleweight. I'm physically strong, and I can punch with both hands. I've got 6 KOs in my last 7 fights, so I want that knockout though. Do you know what I mean? I was knocking kids out in the amateurs, putting them to sleep, and I haven't quite got that just yet in the professional game, even though I am stopping opponents. So we're working on certain shots that work well for me at the moment, and hopefully we can see a spectacular knockout in my next fight.
The thing is, as well, you're saying about you want the knockouts, but these journeymen that you start off your career with, they turtle up, man. Sometimes it's hard to open them up a little bit. You need somebody to maybe counter to get the knockout. So you feel like the better the opponent, the more knockouts you'll get. As you'll get more openings, you'll see more, you know what I mean? You'll open them up a little bit.
Yeah, without doubt. And it's one of them things, it's my own fault. I hit opponents too hard, too early. Like, for instance, in my last fight, the first 10 seconds, I hit him with a double jab, and you could see straight away he went into a shell, even though he was 14-0 unbeaten, and I thought he'd have came to fight a bit more, but I hit him a bit too hard, too early, and then that limits my openings because they're worried whether they're going to stand and trade or they're going to open up, and it makes things a little harder for me. So it took me a while to get him out of there. Obviously, it was a 9th round, so once he tired a bit, and I finally found the openings. But yeah, like you say, when you're fighting journeymen or opponents that don't want to engage as much, it's harder to get them knockouts.
To be fair, you have fought you fought Jez Smith, who is a very good fighter as well. But come March 12th, what kind of opponent are you hoping for? I know, like you're 10-0 right now, but surely you'll be wanting another good level opponent.
Yeah, well, I just got offered an opponent yesterday, which I accepted, my coach accepted, and my manager accepted. Who's a former, I'm not going to say any names because it hasn't been announced or it isn't 100% confirmed yet. But he's a former five-time world champion, so I'll leave you with that. So it'll be a massive fight for me, a massive step up for me, and hopefully it brings the best out of me.
Former 5-weight world champion.
Five-time world champion.
I thought you said 5-weight there. Sorry, Matt, but I'll do some homework to see if I can figure that one out. For anyone that wants to do some homework to see if you can figure that out. How excited you to be on like this, the Mick Conlan and Lee Wood and Mick Conlan, Bill Lee Wood's champion. I mean, what a fight. I mean, Mick's going to bring in a lot of fans from Belfast. You're going to bring a lot of fans in from Belfast. It's going to feel like an all-Irish. It's going to feel like you will be fighting in Ireland because we know how much the Irish like to travel. Yeah,
definitely. Listen, I'm super excited to be fighting on this, Bill. It's an Irish card again with Mick Conlan on it, and you got Gary Cully on it, you got myself on it, so it's just going to feel like we're back at home fighting. There's no doubt it's going to be an Irish invasion. It's going to be a sold out show, so I'm super excited. I'm excited to be fighting in front of a huge audience and a lot of Irish fans, but I'm not going to let that moment get to me. Just like the Liverpool show. Do you know what I mean? It was Katie Taylor was on it. There was a lot of Irish fans there. Ultimately, it's great to be fighting on these big, massive shows with Irish fighters and a lot of Irish fight fans coming. But I've got a job to do, so I can't think about that too much.
I said to you as well, like, I'm a fan of yours. I like how you fight and stuff. And then Eddie Hearn seems to be high on you. He seems to be a massive fan of yourself. He seems to be promoting you quite well. He's saying all the right things in terms of what he wants to do with you and your career, bringing you to Belfast, selling out arenas in Belfast. What do you? How much inspiration? What do you feel when you hear somebody like as big as Eddie Hearn, the promoter that he is, and when he says all these things about you and how he wants to build you into this superstar?
Yeah, it's great. You know what I mean? It's a dream come true for me to be promoted by somebody like Eddie Hearn. I mean, for me, he's the biggest and best promoter in boxing. He's great at what he does. He knows how to promote a fighter, especially when he believes in them. So to hear Eddie Hearn bringing me up and have belief in me, it's surreal for me. Do you know what I mean? I'm just an average kid from Belfast trying to achieve his dreams. So to hear all the great things he's saying about me and plans that he has for me, it's great, and it just makes me want to train harder and push even harder in the gym and achieve my goals. You know what I mean? If he's got the platform for me to do it, all I have to do is get in there, fight, and keep winning. Do you know what I mean? It's great for someone to have the same kind of vision as me in terms of wanting to bring me back home to Belfast and build me as a superstar. And I've never really had any real plans on being a global star. I've always said that I want to, listen, it'd be great to be a global star, but I just love the Irish fans, and being Irish, there's something in us that you hold great pride in coming from Ireland. So it's always been my dreams and plans to go back home and headline big shows and give the Irish fight fans historical nights, and that's what I plan on doing. But to hear Eddie saying that he wants me to do that, but not only that I'll be a global star, it's unbelievable.
Definitely. Talking about big shows and big fights back home in Ireland, there was a big fight at the weekend in your division, the middleweight division, Eubank and Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Williams. The middleweight division's on fire right now. It's looking quite hot with Felix Cash being there, Anthony Fowler coming up as well, especially domestically. But going to that fight at the weekend there, what were your thoughts on it, Eubank and Williams?
Honestly, I genuinely believe that Williams was going to cause him a lot of problems, and maybe pull off a shock win on points, but obviously it didn't go his way. He got dropped 3 times very early on. Listen, he didn't. The fourth knockdown wasn't a knockdown; it was a slip and a push. So he got dropped 3 times early on, and that surprised me a lot. It just looked like Williams's punch resistance had gone, and he can't really hold a shot like he used to be able to. I've rated Liam Williams very highly over the years, so I was very shocked. But it was a good fight for the fans. I think Eubank kind of playing about and talking to Williams and dancing and stuff. Listen, it's all part of the game, but it is a bit disrespectful. And listen, if they have beef between themselves, and Eubank felt like that was a way to get under his skin, and so be it. But I mean, I'm somebody who just likes to always keep it professional, so I'm not a fan of that. But it was a good fight. For me, it didn't plan out the way I thought it would have. I thought it would have either exploded and would have had a tear up, or Williams would have got a late or a win on points. But it is what it is. I thought like Williams was clawing it back, even though he was down. After the 4th or 5th, I think for me he had won every single round up until the 11th, where it was ruled a knockdown, and that just swayed things in Eubank's favour even more. But yeah, it was a good fight.
Were you impressed in how Eubank, when Williams was coming in, was doing it? Was like a jab, but it looked like more of he was attempting the check left hook as Williams was coming in. Almost that you can see that Roy Jones maybe rubbing off on him in a little bit. Were you impressed at that side of Eubank?
Yeah, I was impressed at how composed he was after the knockdowns as well. I was impressed with his sharpness and timing with that jab. Do you know what I mean? He dropped him twice with it, so you could see that training with Roy Jones Jr. has kind of paid off. But I think since he actually has gone to Roy Jones, he's lost that killer instinct. I think if you look at his last couple of fights, I mean, someone like Marcus Morrison, he had hurt. I think he had him down as well, but he just didn't close the show. Game with Liam Williams, he had him down 3 times early and just didn't close the show. And listen, he can sit and say it's because of he wanted to punish him, but that's not true. Do you know what I mean? No fighter wants to take the risk of getting caught by somebody like Liam Williams, who is also a big puncher. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know what's happened there, why he's kind of lost that killer instinct. But I was impressed with him at stages. Other times I wasn't really. He looked completely beatable. Like I said, I felt like Williams was clawing the fight back when he was pressuring him and catching him with jabs and stuff like that. So it was one of them performances where he was good in shades.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned that you want to keep it professional. I know you've sparred Chris Eubank Jr. before and stuff, but if you were to fight Chris and he was doing all that showmanship, the dancing and stuff like that, how would you react to that?
I'll just keep it personal. No, what is it? Sorry.
Would it frustrate you? All that sort of.
No. Listen, it's all that stuff's mind games. It wouldn't frustrate me. I would just stick to the plan. Listen, if he wants to, as long as I'm winning that round, and if he wants to stop and start showboating and stuff like that, I'm not going to chase him about. You know what I mean? You got to be smart in them situations. And if he wants to lose the round by showboating, then so be it. But you can understand why it would frustrate you. Do you know what I mean? It's not sportsmanlike ever. Do you know what I mean? This is a fight. What are you doing standing dancing in the middle of the ring? Do you know what I mean? But I understand that. Listen, there was a lot of beef between them, and maybe Chris just wanted to get under his skin even more so, knowing that he had a big lead and stuff like that. So I understand it, but it wouldn't be frustrating me.
Billy Joe Saunders has came out and said that $5 million to have the rematch with is the number with Chris Eubank Jr. He's also said that he could be half dead and still beat him after that performance. If the rematch was to happen, who would you favour in that and why?
Oh, Billy Joe Saunders. He's easy. I just don't think Chris Eubank is the same fighter anymore. Like, yes, he's still winning and he's still beating. Well, he beat Liam Williams, who I think is a high level fighter, but there's something different about him now, and I don't think he's the same fighter. But even regardless of that, if he was the fighter that he was back in the day when he was coming up and beating everybody, I still believe Billy Joe Saunders would do a number on him like he did last time. I've sparred Billy Joe and know how good he is. The only concerning thing for me is that he has been out of the ring a very long time, and he is a lot overweight. So that's the only concerning thing. But I would be backing Billy Joe Saunders heavily. Billy's a very, very clever fighter, slick southpaw, and I just feel like he would just draw Chris Eubank on the shots and use his angles like he did in the first fight. And I would favour him to, if not beat him on points easily, a late stoppage.
What to ask you talk about these names, though, Kevin? Like I said to you, when you're 10-0 into your pro career, when you talk about these big fights, the Eubanks and Williams, the Eubanks and Billy Joe Saunders, obviously, he's been there at world level with Canelo and stuff, like elite level with Canelo. There's Charlo in your division. Do you know what I mean? Golovkin's still there and all that. So when you hear all these big names, and even in the UK, like I mentioned, Felix Cass, Sam Eggington, it's a very, and Anthony Fowler's moved up. How far are you from these guys to get into that big fights, to get into a training camp and be like, you know what, I'm ready for this, man. This is the fight I've been waiting for my whole professional career. How far are you?
Technically, I'm on the same page as them. I feel like I'm one of the best technical boxers in the middleweight division, and I feel like the fight fans haven't really seen that side to me yet. Maybe in the Paul Allison fight, which was very early on in my career, in my fourth fight, I showed the technical side to me, but I've had to kind of become a very aggressive fighter to get these fighters out of there. But I'm not far away. I feel like I'm on the same page, if not better than these fighters. But in terms of experience, you look at all of the fighters you've mentioned, they are miles ahead of me in terms of experience. The British, Commonwealth, World Champions, whatever, European Champions, whatever else. But it's one of them ones where I could be ready for them, and you could take the gamble, and I'll go in there and beat them. I have confidence in beating any of them middleweights, but there is no rush. I'm 25 years old. Like you said, I'm 10-0. What's the rush? And I feel like this is my career. You only get one shot at it, and I won't be pressured or rushed into any fight that I don't feel like I'm ready for. There will get a stage where I'm going to be up against it. Do you know what I mean? I have to take a certain fight because I'm at a certain level in my career or a certain stage in my career where I have to take the gamble, and I'm going to be on the side of where they are a favourite or they're a heavy favourite against me, and I've got to go in and prove everybody wrong or prove that I am what I am. But for now, I'm on my own path, and like I've said many times before, I'm not going down the domestic route. Them fights only make sense for a world or a European title or beyond that, a world title. Do you know what I mean? For a British or Commonwealth title, it don't really make sense to me because I'm not going down that route. I'm a Irish fighter, and domestically, I don't want to win a British title or a Commonwealth. No disrespect to it, because it is a great achievement. But like I said, I'm an Irish fighter, and I'm not going down that route.
Yep. Okay. one final one before I let you get some breakfast in you, because you've got a hard 12-round sparring, 10, 12-round sparring. I'll let you be in. I do appreciate your time. Good. It sounds like you might have a good opponent if all goes well come March 12th. So what can the fans expect from Kevin Ajargo this time round?
I always say they're gonna see the Kevin Ajargo that's the slick head movement counter puncher. But then as soon as I walk to that ring, it's seek and destroy, and you see the beast in me that comes out, the hard hitting, aggressive, vicious nastiness. So I don't know. I think this opponent, if it does happen, you will see a more calculated performance. Because I will have to be on my A game. I can't take silly risks. So I think you'll see shades of me where I'm a slick counter puncher, but at stages you will see the aggressive Kevin Ajargo. But listen, I've set myself a goal and I want to get to 10 straight knockouts. So you're going to see an explosive performance and hopefully a knockout at the end.
Yeah, that's music to my ears. I will say this though. I remember a fight in the Ulster Hall. I can't remember who it was against when I was there, and you were showing some slick head movement in that one.
That's the one I'm talking about. Paul Allison from Scotland.
That was Paul Allison, yeah. I remember that fight because you were sort of like rolling out, head movement, hands down, which was. But you're inside the pocket as well. You're inside the pocket, but you're rolling. So it was.
I actually put a clip of it on my Instagram story last night, of that fight, and it's one of them ones like Paul Allison. He did not give me a break that night. He was on my chest, and when I have somebody like that who's going to come and stay on my chest, that's when you see the Kevin Ajargo that uses his hand speed, foot movement, and head movement, and you see the slickness comes out. But then again, there's other fighters who I expect to give me them kind of hard fights and stay on my chest, and they get hit early and kind of go on the back foot. So I'm hoping I can show both sides of my game next fight. Definitely.
Well, March 12th, I'm not going to be able to be there, but listen, I'll be tuning in on the TV. So, Kevin, thanks so much for doing this for IFL TV, and hopefully that opponent comes through. I'm going to go and do some homework on BoxRec right now. So
I'll tell you after you
right, okay,
stop the recording. I'll tell you.
Right, no worries. I'll push for it. Listen, Kevin, thanks very much, mate. I'll stop recording now.
Thanks.